In the next 20 or 30 minutes, we're going to make our very first newsletter. A lot of people who've been joining the mailing list hackers community have said that they want to start a newsletter, but they don't have one yet. In fact, I was kind of surprised when I ran a survey recently to people who were joining the community and found out that the majority of them did not have a newsletter. So clearly they want to have one and they're not sure where to start. So in this video, we're going to look at Substack, which is a free publishing platform that's really great, in particular for newsletters. I'm going to show you how to set it up, and we're going to create our first newsletter, write our first issue, and then, at the end of the video, I'll give you some other places to go check out and other resources for you to explore. One thing to mention is that if you are interested in joining a community of people who are working on mailing lists and newsletters, you should join Mailing List Hackers. You can go to mailinglisthhackers.com. You can join our chat. And this video is going to be available for free on our website. It's going to be a free course. But if you want to join the community a little after September 2020, we're going to be moving into a paid community. And so you'll need to spend the annual fee. It's pretty reasonable. You're going to get all kinds of courses like this one. You're going to get access to our chat community. And you're also going to be able to rewatch our past meetups and attend future ones and get all kinds of other stuff as well. So with that, let's hop into Substack. So to start, we're on Substack.com. I'm actually signed in under my Substack reading account. I subscribe to a number of Substacks, but I'm going to start publishing. I'm going to connect with Twitter, and I'm just going to authorize Substack. So I'm just going to sign up. I'm going to use the same email, and then what I'm going to do is just set up my profile. And I'll just keep that, as is for now. And so now we get to the part where we create a publication. So if you have a publication in mind, that's awesome. I think, this is a really easy way to start that up. If you don't have one in mind, it might be worthwhile to take a couple minutes and just sort of think about something that you can experiment with as a newsletter. For mine, I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm going to be doing a kind of music recommendation newsletter, just as kind of an experiment. I'm not even sure, honestly, if I'll end up kind of sharing it or publishing it, but it should be just kind of a good example. So things like that, sharing things that you like, we kind of call that a resource roundup or something like that. That can be a great option. It could also be a place for you to share blog posts. So if you're writing long form content, this can be a great place to share that. And then each kind of blog post becomes its own, issue of your newsletter on Substack. So I'm just going to call it techno music. Techno music is a genre of music that I like. And I'm just going to say what's it about? Well, it's a weekly feature of great techno music and mixes. Really straightforward. I don't think I'm going to be able to get techno.substack, but I'll try. Oh, apparently I did get it, which is kind of shocking. So that's interesting and exciting. So next up is going to be importing your mailing list. So if you are coming from a different place like MailChimp, TinyLetter, Patreon is what they include here, but other things like Email Octopus or MailerLite, any kind of mailing list tool, I would say the majority of these have or should have the ability to export your list as a CSV. And so if you have one of those, this is a great place to import that in. It'll be like a collection of names and emails. That can be a great way to get your list started. For now, I'm just going to skip it because I don't actually have a list. Still shocked I have this URL, but that'll be fun. And now I feel like I have to launch it because that's just such a funny, good URL to have. But yeah, let's jump into it and let's get started actually filling out our newsletter. Okay, so you can see right away the first thing that you're going to see is actually your Substack. So this is just techno.substack.com. It has this post. You can see it's called Coming Soon. So this is the actual publication. If I go and click Techno Music here, I can see this is kind of the default view. There's no posts. There's anything there's nothing here, but I get this automatic about page, which is cool too. So I get all of this stuff kind of for free, but I haven't actually written anything yet. So let's go into our dashboard and actually take a look at what we can do here. Okay, so first up, we have our posts, which is going to be our lists of posts or threads, which we'll explore later on. We also have subscribers. I don't have any subscribers right now, but in the future, I'll be able to see, how many people have joined my list, whether that's in 30 days, 90 days. I can also see revenue. So if I'm doing a paid newsletter, I can see how much money I'm making. I have stats, which is like totally empty right now. I don't have any website visitors at the moment, but I can see over time, how many people are visiting the website. And then finally, I have settings. So here I can customize some important stuff. So the publication name, maybe I want to go and change that later on. My description, I can do tags. And tags here, really recommend filling these out because this will let you see in the discover section, how many, I'm sure this is kind of based on like number of subscribers, but you can see, newsletters for topics that you care about. So I might say like music. And if I search music here, you can see there's all of these different music Substacks, which is really cool. I can add music to my tag here. Maybe I'll just say music, and that will be a way to kind of have people discover my Substack newsletter from their discover page. I can also edit the about page. So if I click that, you can see I can come in here and I can customize this. I can fill out more about, maybe about me or about the newsletter and stuff like that. I can do the same for this thanks for subscribing email. So I'm probably going to want to give this a subject. I'll say, thanks for subscribing. Let's listen to some cool music together. So I'll give it a subject there. I can save that. I'll come back and add a logo at some point, probably here in the future. I can pick a highlight color. Maybe I'll do something like that. So that's my highlight color. Again, I can come here, I can connect to Twitter, I can import posts, which is interesting. So if I have old posts I want to add to my Substack, I can add that here. I can do the same again with my email list, so I can import that. So there's all kinds of stuff here to do. And then at the bottom here, if you're really interested in paid subscriptions and selling a paid version of your newsletter, you can connect to Stripe here and get started accepting payments for your newsletter. Okay, so we've spent a bunch of time, there's a lot of things here that I think we can dive into maybe in a later segment of this video. But for now, the settings page just covers a lot of different stuff of customizing your newsletter. For now, let's come in here and let's look at this initial post. So welcome to Techno Music by me, Christian Freeman, focusing on M-list hackers. That's like my bio straight from Twitter, right? Sign up now so you don't miss the first issue. So this is like kind of a default post here. If I click on there and then do edit post, I can go to settings here. You can see there's all of these kind of these settings here, whether that's like who gets to see this, when it was published, see what it looks like, the actual email. So all of this different stuff. What I'm actually going to do though is I'm just going to make a new post, and I'm going to start by just sort of showing you what I think this is going to look like. So first I have my title here. So I'm just going to say like number 1. So this is like the first issue, right? And then I can add a subtitle. This will be what will like show up in the subtitle on the main page. And then I imagine it'll also be shared in the newsletter email as well. I'm just going to leave that blank for now. So I just typed a bunch of stuff here, right? Welcome to my Substack. I'll be sharing music and mixes I like, usually in the techno genre, but sometimes jungle and trancey stuff as well. So it's just like information about the newsletter, right? Like things I'm going to be sharing. And then I have a couple little call to actions here, but nothing too serious, right? Like I'm basically just sort of setting the stage for the newsletter. I haven't actually written a post yet. It says you can follow me on Spotify if you'd like. So I'm just going to copy my profile link. So there's that. I'll also add this link on my Twitter. So now what we can do, so we have a draft here, right? I've kind of filled this out. So I have the option to publish here, but real quick before we do that, I'm just going to go back to my dashboard. You can see I have this draft here, right? So it's still saved. And what I'm going to do first is I'm just going to add basically myself as a subscriber. And the reason for that is that I want to actually see what the newsletter looks like, right? So success, they've been imported. And so now you can see I got my first subscriber here. It's a free sign up. I can come in here and I can grant them a subscriber status, which means that they'll be able to see like subscriber only posts. That'll be like registered posts or things like that. So I'll talk about that more here in a second. But now what we can do is I can come here and I can publish. And what's going to happen is here I can say, okay, this post is for everyone. It's for only paying subscribers. We don't have that set up yet, right? So that's not going to work. Only free signups, which is going to be people who, people who have signed up for emails, and notably it won't actually show up in your publication archives. So this is going to be like if you just want to send an email to your subscribers and not have it show on your Substack, right? So I'm going to say everyone for now. I'll say allow comments from everyone so you can receive comments as well. And then I have my social preview. This is going to be like how this looks on Twitter and on Facebook and things like that. And then the last option here is sending emails, because I'm about to send a newsletter, right? So I can send it to everyone, or I can schedule it for later. For now, I'm just going to send it to everyone. So I'll just click that. And I've published my first newsletter article. Really, really straightforward. If I come into my email here, you can see that I have this email. So you've been given a complimentary subscription. So I'm going to just say, click here to start reading. So I'm just confirming my subscription, right? So now that I've confirmed, you can see this kind of from the perspective of a subscriber. So this is my first post here, right? This is the one I just published. You can see this, and I could comment if I want. I can see what else is new here. I can go to the About page. And then finally, if I come back to my email, you can see that I actually have another email, which is the first edition of my Substack newsletter, right? So I've received it in my inbox, and I can click share here to open it up in browser. This is just the same page, so I could tweet this or do all kinds of things here. And now any point for me as a publisher that I start writing things and publishing it here, say I publish, Techno Music 00002, I'll basically be able to send it out as a normal newsletter. So that is like really the basics of Substack. It's like really, really easy to use in a way that it's like so straightforward. I really like it. Like it's really kind of the stuff you need to figure out in order to actually get an email in people's inbox on a regular basis is really, really straightforward, which is awesome. So you can see if I go and click this kind of disclosure thing here, I'm signed in as my subscriber right now, right, at hey.com. So just so you know from that perspective, I can go look at my account. I can do things like set my name here. I can cancel my subscription. I can do all kinds of things here. I can gift other subscriptions to other people, which is cool as well. And so from a publisher perspective, if I come back here to the dashboard, and I got logged out, of course. So let me log back in real quick. And I got logged out because because I was viewing it as a subscriber, right? So note that those are two different things. Kind of intentionally, I did that to show like the difference between the two. Okay, so I now have my email to log in. So I don't even have a password, notably, for my account, right? Which is kind of nice. It's just based on logging in with my email. So click that and you can see, okay, I sent out my first email. I can actually go in here and I can, there's email data here. I can go and edit this post. I can pin it, which means that if I come back to my actual, if I come back to, well, it's already pinned because it's the top, but if I have like a bunch of different things that I'm writing, I can pin one here to the top so that people can see it. Maybe that's like a kind of introductory post or something like that. And, I can basically just start fleshing this out, and I can write this every week or however I want to do it. And I can schedule things out. So you could, spend a couple hours scheduling out the first month or two of your Substack newsletter and just have those send out, which is really cool. And there's a lot of different room to grow here, right? A lot of different things that we can do. We can go in settings here. We can connect to Stripe, and then we can start offering a paid version of our newsletter. So for instance, if we go back to the Discover section here, and maybe I'll just pick like this first or the second, like reporting by Matt Taibbi. I can go to let me read first. Okay, well, I can see this is like the whole newsletter. But then if I go to subscribe, let me try and find the paid one here. So just as an example, so this is a post from Matt Taibbi on his reporting Substack, and you can see that this post is for paying subscribers. So if I click subscribe, I can subscribe here, and you can see that there's built-in kind of payment stuff here too, right? So I can subscribe annually, monthly. I can do this founding member, which looks like it's kind of a name your own price thing. And then I can just pay with Apple Pay. Well, I'm on Safari right now, so it just has built-in support for Apple Pay. I can also use a credit card or something like that. I can click don't want to use this. So there's a lot of different ways to accept payments here. And then really what this means, this post is for paying subscribers. It's as easy as making a new post and then saying this is only for paying subscribers, right? I come in my settings here and I just say this post is for paid subscribers only. I'll just call this paid test. I'll publish it. And maybe I'm just not going to send an email on this one because it's kind of a junk post. But if I come here and look at paid test, well, let's copy that link and let's open it in a new private tab. And you can see this post is for paying subscribers. So you can't even see it, before signing in and stuff like that. Of course, I haven't set up paid subscribers here, so there's no way to kind of follow this flow through yet. But you can check out the Substack docs for, how to do that and how to get started with that. Just one more thing that's I think kind of useful. I'm looking back at this paid test again. If I want to delete this post, I can go into settings and I can either unpublish or I can delete it. I'm just going to delete it for now. So if you want to come back and kind of clean up posts and stuff like that, it's a really straightforward way to do that. So yeah, with that, I guess that's kind of the basics of starting a newsletter with Substack. I imagine that this interface will change, as Substack continues to kind of get more popular and stuff like that. I know they'll be updating the UI, so some stuff here might be out of date, but the general sort of idea of starting a new Substack and beginning to publish posts on it and sending those as newsletters, that kind of flow I think is really, I'm sure, not going to go anywhere. And so if you're looking for a place to start your newsletter, it's a really straightforward and I think easy way to do that. So real quick, I'll just say one more thing. If you enjoyed this, or if you even started a newsletter on Substack after this video, which would be awesome, I would love to hear about it. And I imagine that all kinds of other people would too in the Mailing List Hackers community. So I've talked about it at the beginning of the video. If you just go to mailinglisthhackers.com, you can see more info about joining us and getting access to our other videos, to our chat community, and to the meetups that we put on our monthly basis. There's all kinds of cool stuff there. It's a really great place to learn from other people, building mailing lists, and then also getting feedback on what you're working on. So if you want to start your own Substack and then share it with people, and say like, hey, what do you think I could do better here? Or are there things that that I'm doing well? Or even just like, do people want to subscribe to this? Like all of those things are totally fair game in our chat community. So make sure to join. I'll put a link. This will be published on mailinglisthackers.com. So I'll put a link to the specific kind of join section at the bottom of the page. And happy newslettering. I hope this was helpful. See you in the next video.